Good evening, PirateCast Army. We are live. It is what day is it? It's Thursday, the 3rd of March, 2022. And we are here. PirateCast Live is back for episode number 2. They didn't take us off the air. We are back. Ben is there. Yeah, I did it right. Ben is there next to me.
And Lee's there. Oh, no, I can't go too far.
Oh, your hand disappears.
Yeah. Yours doesn't, but mine does.
It goes off
screen. You don't see the dreary wall behind me.
How are you doing, my friend? Has it been?
I'm very good, buddy. Yeah, all good, all good. They tried to take us off. You know, they wanted to ban us. Some say we may have been poached by the British Speedway Network.
Well, you know, it's quite easy to watch us because you just click YouTube on and away you go.
Yeah. We'll get onto that.
We will get onto that. We've already got some great people in the chat room. David James, can't wait for the season to start. We've got TZ Greg, one excited Aussie here. Bring it on.
Amazing. Always good to have Aussies on board. Welcome aboard.
Absolutely fantastic. Craigie Hurl is with us as well. Betty Lou is with us in the chat room too, and Ian Clark. So many people joining us. This is amazing. If you're watching us right now, you're watching us live on YouTube. Please interact with the show. You've got the YouTube comments there. You can watch us. You can join the chat. Rhiannon, very happy birthday to Rhiannon. She is in the chat room now as well. Flipping heck, it's too busy to keep up with. There's Clive Tyres, unofficial member of the PirateCast squad. Mandy Smith in the chat room as well. She says, hi guys, Dudders Jr. There we go. You've got the whole family in this.
It's Dudders Jr. or Dudders 2.8. Hey, viewers is viewers, mate. What can I say?
Absolutely. And David James with the question straight off.
Wow.
We'll try and get to this one pretty soon. Number one, any reason why Chris Holder cannot ride in the championship? His average would be about 264.3.
To be fair, shouldn't do. Should be reassessed in fairness.
Yeah.
It'd be around a Schlein or a Doyle around a 13-point average, but obviously it would make it quite difficult for team building is my thought on it. I would imagine that conversations have been had and Matt and I think Danny's alluded the door's always open to Chris if they can make it work.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it'd be great to have Hola, you awesome dudes from Mandy in the chat room there. Robbie Dyer's with us, evening all.
Evening, Rob.
Pink Tuck, hello. Sorry, I'm late. I was replying to messages.
That was my fault. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's good to be so busy and interesting, isn't it, on a Thursday evening?
You know, hey.
So we got a cracking show coming up for you. Lots of stuff going on in a few minutes. I mean, the main event. This is the reason why you're all here. It's not for us.
Nah.
It's for Pirates team manager Neil Middleditch, who will be joining us shortly. It'd be great to interact with Middlo, ask him some questions, how he's feeling in the run up to the season, and of course, you guys are going to be there in the chat room, and we'll relay some of the questions over to Middlo, and you can ask him some bits and bobs about the new season. We've got lots of stuff coming up. Of course, the British Speedway Network. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit as well. That's big news and a huge step into the 21st century for Speedway. We're going to be looking at sort of how that compares to sort of other services by other sports. You know, again, it's still baby steps, but it looks like they're heading in the right direction.
There's a lot of similarities between a sport that we love, actually, when it all went live. So yeah, exciting times for Speedway, definitely.
Absolutely, that's going to be really cool. Going to be talking about Bjarne's meeting, first match of the season, happening on the 30th of March. We've got a lot of news about that. But most importantly, got to thank you guys. Thank you, everyone. We've only done one episode, and we put out a plea last show to say, you know, can you please subscribe to our channel? Please share us. Please tweet us. Please do anything that you can to spread the word of PirateCast, because we are back and we're video rather than podcast. Ben does a sterling job on the Twitter of keeping you guys updated with stuff, especially during the Twitter meetings, on the Twitter machine.
I'm always on the line. Yeah, on the line.
On the line on the Twitter. So yeah, that's Ben does a great job there. But YouTube has got this thing. You need to have over 100 subscribers to get what we call like a customized YouTube address, because before we were youtube.com/XERW, and all of that, and it was really difficult to find, so we set up piratecast.live that would take you straight to the YouTube. But now, thanks to you guys, we are officially at youtube.com/PirateCast Live. So you can head straight on over there. There is that thing with the C in the middle as well, but it also works. I've tested it, youtube.com/PirateCast Live. So if you want to get over to us, you can do it that way as well. Check us out over on Facebook, facebook.com/ThePiratecast. And we're on Twitter. As you mentioned earlier, Ben does all the updates during the season. And any big Speedway news relating to Poole, or any big Speedway news in general, is at PirateCast on Twitter. And make sure, obviously, you spend your well-earned money over at the Poole Speedway merch shop. If you want some PirateCast stuff, shop.piratecast.live. You can go and check it out. There's the PirateCast logo stuff over there, and Eat, Sleep, PirateCast, Repeat. What are you doing? Oh, that's the logo, right? Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
look! I can distort the logo.
Don't mess with my logo. I put a lot of hours into that.
I can go with Bob Ross. We're going to put a little tree over here
on the forehead of the pirate. Yeah, that'll work. There we go. So yeah, lots of great stuff coming up, and just to finish off on the merch at the moment, full price on the t-shirts and any of the merch over there. But if I was you, I'm not going to be a salesman and say dive in and buy it now, buy it before it goes, all the rest of it. It's print to order. It's really good quality, but keep an eye on it. Keep checking every day, because they tend to do these special sales where they give you a discount on the print. So check that out. Keep an eye out for it and grab yourself a PirateCast t-shirt.
As you can see, I'm waiting. It is Thursday, so Throwback Thursday. The OGs know. There's our old original PirateCast live logo. So yeah, I went old school today.
Excellent. There's nothing wrong with old school. Old school Thursday. Throwback Thursday. There we go. David James will never see another Turbo Twins at Poole. Well, that remains to be seen. That does remain to be seen.
We've got the Cook brothers.
We have, yeah, absolutely. David James just says, couldn't Chris be a rider coach? Help bring the younger riders through, watch them at Poole, give them advice. Yeah, absolutely. That would be good.
He kind of has done.
Yeah, he's been there a lot of times.
Pits a lot. Yeah, he was. And to be quite honest, David, he is still riding elsewhere. So his schedule is quite busy.
Yeah, it is. It is. But always good to have that. Everyone loves the glory days. And do you know what? I think we should. I can see him. He sat there, ready and waiting in our green room. How expensive and important are we? Because we've got
it's
a green
glamorous. Room. We plied him with alcohol. Actually, no, he did promise to be sober for this interview earlier on today.
Where's the fun in that? Okay, we're going to add him to the stream now. He's already got a bottle of Jack out in the green room, so we're going to add him to the stream. Let's. This first time we've done this, so hopefully we'll be all right to do this. Let's add him in. There we go. We have. There we go. Let's move him across. There we are. Pirates team manager Neil Middleditch. Neil, thank you so much. Now, was that full like about half an hour ago? Have you?
No, that's from last season actually.
Oh, okay, good. Well, a lot of restraint shown there. I like that. That's really good. Yeah. Good. So, thank you so much for joining us, Neil. We're into the 21st century. We're not doing radio interviews anymore. We're doing video stuff. So, really appreciate you taking your time and sort of bearing with us on the tech side of things. How are you? How's your winter been?
Good. Yeah, it's been like everybody. It's been a bit strange. Just sort of waiting for the season to start. Really, the boys started coming back in. Brady Kurtz, he came back in a couple of nights ago. The Kurtz boys come back. The Cook boys come back in about the 9th, I think. So yeah, it's all starting to happen again.
Okay, good stuff. And obviously so much stuff has happened in the closed season, lots of changes, and we're still adapting to the changes. Of course, we're a championship team now instead of a premiership team. One of the things I think I've had a few people asking, from your perspective, obviously you're the most successful team manager certainly Poole has ever seen, and arguably UK Speedway has ever seen. What's the main difference from your perspective, being the team manager of a championship team as opposed to a premiership team?
None really. I think the will to win is still there, and people said to me, when we sort of moved down, which I was never an advocate of it, but I've got to say I thoroughly enjoyed last season. I think the enthusiasm from the youngsters was absolutely brilliant. I mean, I'm not saying it wasn't good in the elite, but it was a breath of fresh air. It got it back to the old school speedway where they just wanted a race, particularly young Daniel. Win or lose, he still came in with a smile on his face, which was nice to see.
Yeah, I think Ben and I have said exactly the same things. I mean, we both became fans in the late 80s and sort of the 1989 National League winning team and the 1990 double winning team. And, it kind of feels like we've got some of that energy back with some of the young, scrappy riders. And, it's not so, I don't want to use the word professional, but everything isn't quite so precise. You have got your people that will make mistakes and perhaps go for those moves that some of the, the GP standard riders wouldn't go for. And in my mind, it kind of makes it a bit more entertaining. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I think it happened to me. You know, when I went from Poole to Arena Essex, as it was then, you know, you could never give up because the kids were just like on it, and you know, particularly when I was riding then, I had a target on my back, but I just think these kids never give up. I mean, that's the good thing. I always say to my boys, you know, win or lose, just tell me you've given me 100%, and I'll accept that. And I think that's what we got last year from all the boys in Poole, and I think that they bred off each other. I mean, they never wanted to let each other down, and I think that's the success. I think the recipe, should I say, for a successful team.
Fantastic. Now, Middlo, one from me. I haven't seen it race too much. It was at the start of last season. Obviously, you can see how much every single league title means to you, and it was still the same last year. But how difficult was it for you relinquishing the reins and splitting it with Javi? I imagine that the sort of having Javi there made it easier for you logistically, etc. But how easy was it for you to let go?
Yeah, it wasn't a case of letting go. I mean, I think many people knew it was when my dad was poorly, and you know, it was a case of I couldn't afford to be up in Glasgow, Edinburgh, and something happened to my dad, and obviously we all know he's passed. But Javi's been a good friend. He's not had the best of times since he stopped racing, obviously with his injury and one thing and another. And I didn't want to sort of turn around him and say, okay, Javi, thanks, we don't need you anymore, because I know how much he enjoys it. And you know, we have different ways of team managing. I always said Javi's brilliant because he's still got his finger on the pulse. You know, I still know what engines sound like, and I can sort of hear a bike if it's not good. But Javi's really, really good, and his enthusiasm. The boys enjoy it. I think you know we bounce off each other, and it was and obviously the finals and everything to work with Javi was brilliant fun.
Yeah, in complete agreement. Yeah, and interesting. I guess it's you know, you've got you know, different levels of experience. You know, you have certain ways, like you say, of coaching the team up, giving them that motivation. Javi approaches things very differently, and you know, you guys rode in kind of different eras. So I'd imagine lots of different tips and you know, pointers coming from different directions there, which is really good. Just want to mention it in the chat room. If you have got any questions for Middlo, we're starting to see them filter in now. Just post them on YouTube. Just post them as a comment there, and we will get some of those questions out to you. David James, now this is an interesting one. We're never going to know the answer to this until it actually happens. Do you think Poole will ever move back up? Interesting question, Middlo.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. I mean, obviously that's down to Matt and Dan, really. I think obviously it was a financial thing, obviously with the well, there's not so many foreign riders in the country anymore, sadly. But you know, when it was, you know, Matt's air flight, you know, costs were phenomenal, you know, and it really was a crippling cost. And you know, any businessman knows that if something's not working in a business, you've got to change things. And I think that he looked at it from the point of view that, was it going to dilute the league or the racing rather? I don't think so, because you look last season, I think it was only like I think it was Jack, Brady, and Dan Bewley. There was only about 3 or 4 riders who didn't double down, so we weren't really seeing a diluted league. I mean, all the riders that were in the Premiership we saw in the Championship. So I think the racing was just good. I thought the racing was great. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, completely agree. Ben, have you got one?
Rob Dyer. Thank you, Rob. I can always count on Rob. Has Middlo got his 5 a day in that glass?
I've got plenty of ice. Let you sink the tank out.
And that's water. That's good for you.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, actually, it's great. Because in my local pub, I actually have a drink. I go in and say, "Can I have a Middlo?" And they just pour me a drink. I didn't even need to ask them.
Amazing.
Nice. Absolutely coming to Champs Bar in the 2022 season.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a good thing. You know, I mean, it's this also, the riders in the Championship tend to be a bit more social because that when Darcy, Chris, and those boys in Magic, they all had to get away straight after the meeting. Boof, they're off to Poland, blah blah. But you know, you got Ben and Zach who both live with me. Obviously, Stevie's got a long way to travel, but you know, it's we always used to enjoy the chat in the bar with the fans afterwards and everything. It's great. You know, for the boys, I always say, you know, it's a chance to pick up a sponsor, and that was always the thing with Speedway. You know, I think we are a social sport, and I think that's the magic. Some of the magic of Speedway is the fact that the riders and everybody are quite happy to mix with the fans and spend time with them. And I think the Champs Bar reopening again will be great, and hopefully we can get more and more people in there next season.
I definitely noticed that a lot towards the end of last season. Like you say, that the sort of atmosphere at Wimborne Road was the best I've seen it for quite a few seasons, if I'm honest. Everyone was behind every one of the riders. And again, I think, like you said, it's because not one of those lads didn't give 100% when they're out on the track. Even when they're at the back,
that's right. I mean, there's no superstars. I mean, it was just a great mix of youth and experience, and I think that was a combination which served us well, as it proved by winning, you know, the league and cup.
Sorry, go.
No, go for it.
And I know you also said about how much the boys actually fed off each other in the pits. It wasn't just down to you and Javi, like you sort of more experienced riders in Danny and Steve and Rory. Everyone was helping out.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, me as a manager, I mean, people say, well, what do you actually do, Middlo? Well, so, it's people management. It's a case of looking at a rider, seeing when he's down. If I see, Daniel's a bit down or Ben's a bit down, I'll say to Rory or Danny, or just go and have a quick word and sort of pick him up again. And that worked. I think the whole season, I mean, everybody worked with each other. If somebody was having a bad time, they, all the boys gathered round and sort of protected him almost, just wanted to get him going again. And it worked.
Fantastic. Next question we've got from the chat room this evening. Elliot Hunt says, what work has been done to the pool track over the closed season? If you're privy to that information, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, I know Dan's been doing a lot of work on it. I mean, we had our critics last year, and rightly so. But I think the latter part of the season, we got some different track people in, and the racing was good. And I mean, the thing is, pool is it's a great shape racetrack. I mean, it's a really good, it's a racer's track, but it needs to be in good condition. Well, any track needs to be in good condition. You only sort of have to look at the Polish tracks. There's no great big holes. I think one of the problems in the UK tends to be that the tracks are so sort of narrow that if you do hit a hole, you stand it up on the back wheel, you've got so little time to get the front end down before you hit the fence. Whereas Poland, it's wide. You can make, dare I say it, make a few mistakes. But no, they've been working hard on the track, and hopefully they've got some work done. And obviously we had a lot of rain lately. That can be good. It can help settle the track, and hopefully they've got the base down nice and hard. And I know they've had a lot of volunteers down doing the work on the track. Starman, who everybody knows, he's been down there working, and all the other boys, and they're the lifeblood of the club that keep the club going as well. And they're down there, rain or shine, helping get the track together.
Absolutely. And I think that's kind of a testament. And we've hit on a couple of points already there. The fact that, if you follow a sport like Formula One, you don't get the drivers coming into the bar afterwards to have a chat and a drink. You don't get the community of people working on an F1 track in the off season, do you? It is kind of that community feel when it comes to Speedway, which is one of the things that really differentiates it, certainly in the UK, from a lot of other sports. Really, really great to have. A message from Ian Clark in the chat room. He says, Middlo, you've worked with Crumpy his whole career. How do you think he'll do in team management?
It's different. Crumpy can be a bit abrasive, shall we say, sometimes.
Very well handled.
But again, he's got the knowledge, he's got the experience, and I think that counts for a lot for riders. When Crumpy talks to them, they know he's not bullshit, and they know he knows what he's talking about. And I think that could be a very good attribute as a team manager. I think it's. Dare I say, I'm not out of touch. I mean, obviously, but I'm not on the pulse as much as, like, say, with Crumpy or like Javi. They were only riding a few years ago, and obviously Crumpy last year. So yeah, no, I think he'll do well. I think he'll want to be obeyed by the riders, I think. But no, Crumpy, I think he'll do a good job. I mean, it's different. I don't know whether he's done that sort of thing, because it can be. He's always been the one screaming at the team manager, so it might be different when the rider's screaming at him. So we'll see how that goes.
Definite learning curve, I think.
Yeah.
Now, Middlo, obviously, I know that Danny would have loved to have kept our 1 to 7 from last season. There's been some unfortunate departures. Love it, literally. So there's been some unfortunate departures. There's been, we've tried to keep the two key riders who I think were no-brainers. And I know potentially we may have very well kept Rory had he not been retiring. I'm very enthused by the build-up of the team this season. Do you just want to run through your thoughts around the makeup of the 1 to 7?
Yeah, no, I think it's always tough, isn't it? All the years, all the championships I've won, and you become, they're my kids. I mean, they are. I mean, I have a huge feeling for the boys. I'm not just a manager. I'm their mate. I'm their their brother, their uncle, whatever you want to say. But I think that the build up this year with the team is I think the key has always been with Matt and obviously Danny now, who build the team. They look good on paper, but you've got to have a team that will improve a bit. And I think that we've obviously got we've gone heavy top end with the top three, but you've got Ben and Zach. I think that sibling rivalry, I've said that in the Star and things like that, that will be good. I think with Nathan Ablett, happy 18th by the way. He's going to enjoy that. And Drew Kemp, I think, I spoke to Drew a little while ago. Was down here looking for sponsors, and I think he's enthused about riding at Poole because it's a good racetrack, and these kids they want to race, and I think it'll be really, really good to see them. And yeah, they need to improve. These boys need to improve. If you said at the start of the season we would win the league, I'd probably say no. But if they can all improve a bit, then can we win it? Yes, I can.
Interesting that we have got so many young kids in the team now, and we'll move back to some other chat room questions in a second. I know David James has got a good one, but do you think we've seen a lot of the biographical DVDs, like the Chris Holder 2012 Championship DVD, where he talks about what he did as a kid and moved up, and then more recently we've had the Darcy Ward DVD that covered his whole career. And stay tuned to PirateCast next show, because we're going to be giving away a copy of that.
Very good, by the way. I watched it. I mean, I'm blubbing like a baby, but yeah, no, very, very emotive. Yeah,
it is.
People haven't seen it. It's some things I didn't know about Darcy, but yeah, it was quite touching, to be fair. Got to be honest.
Absolutely cracking DVD. Go out and buy one, check it out, or if not, wait, and next episode we'll be giving away a copy of that. What I'm getting to, a lot of I know Chris and Darcy in their younger days were almost a bit, living in sort of small town Australia. They would see the news of the pool pirates and almost sort of mythical status for them growing up in Australia. What have you sort of heard the thoughts of some of the younger guys maybe coming over to the UK for the first time, and then being greeted by this track in the middle of the town, as we've always heard, the Manchester United of Speedway? Does it create any kind of intimidation factor for a young rider?
Possibly, but I think Paul has such a big Aussie connection, doesn't it? Going way back, and I think that obviously when Matt first started, he was in with Rod Calhoun, always looking for riders. Boise messaged me the other day about some riders and things like that. So there's a great Aussie connection, and I think just the fact of obviously where we are in the country, it's similar to Aussie. They tend to sort of come here, feel comfortable, and that sort of. I always say, if you're happy where you work better, and I think that's a big key to the fact. But the Paul, I'm not bigging ourselves up, because we are pretty good, or we have been, and riders do want to ride for us. I mean, I get loads of riders who contact me and say, any chance Middlo, and obviously it's down to Matt and Danny to work the numbers to see who we can get in.
Yeah, absolutely. Back to the chat. I know David James wants to ask this one, and not sure how much you can share on this one, but just your thoughts, I guess. Middlo, what happened with Basso? We know there's been some things said back and forth, and again, hearsay.
I don't know. I mean, it's hand of my heart. I mean, I enjoy working with Benjamin. He's a typical, got that Danish mentality like Bjarne. I mean, without listening to sound rude, Bjarne didn't have the talent of Darcy or Chris, but he worked very, very hard at it. And Benjamin's got that same work ethic. I mean, he's ultra professional. You can see him when he comes in the pits and starts kicking his toolbox around the pits that he's not very happy. But I don't know. I mean, it was a Wednesday night thing, wasn't it, really? I mean, obviously, we know Danish League runs Wednesday. I don't know if he's obligated or whether that's where he wants to be, but he obviously had to ride for on the Wednesday League, and it was going to be difficult for us. It would have been nice to have him back. I mean, I know I'm not speaking out of order, I suppose, but Glasgow were sucking up to him when we were up there in the finals. So I mean, it was sort of on the cards, if you like, but it's still sort of put nose out of joint a little bit. But anyway, that's Speedway, and I think Benjamin realistically couldn't ride for Paul with his Danish commitments, and I haven't got a problem with that. He's got to think what's best for his career. He wants to be in Denmark. And he's gone to Glasgow, so good luck to him.
There we go. Ben, have you got any of your additional questions you want to chime in? We've got a few more.
For me, Middlo, obviously you said about what you bring. The hat changes are amazing. They are. I'm picking up on each one of them. They're brilliant. So you've brought it up with it. So regarding yourself and Javi, did you end up travelling north much, or did you just leave it in Javi's hands? I know you said you bounced off each other and you were both together for the finals.
I went as far as Leicester, and then obviously I did Glasgow, Edinburgh, Glory Hunter, when we're in a final, Middle's going to be there, picture hat, you know what I mean? But no, I mean, it's a difficult one, because with my business now, Susie and myself run the business, and our weekends, as most people know, we're open every weekend. Great coffee shop, BH Coffee, come over and see me. Advert over. So it is a difficult one for me to be away for, because a lot of the tracks is Friday, Saturday, and it's just not fair on my wife to leave her with the business all weekend. So I mean, if I can, I will. Obviously got Ben and Zach staying here, so I can hop in the van with them.
Yeah,
good
nice and easy.
And then the other one, I know there's a few more questions on the chat. There's a lot of teams in the championship. I appreciate that, but Lee and I, on our last episode, we sort of picked a team that we were excited to be watching this season. There's a lot of great built teams this season in the championship, more so than last season, I feel. What are the ones that have sort of stood out to you so far?
Yeah, I think you sort of look at the teams and the ones that they've assembled so far. I mean, I look at them and think, oh, that's a good team, and look, that's a good team, and there is some great teams out there. I mean, because you've got both leagues, you've got the Premiership and the Championship. You've got all those riders to pick from to make our league, haven't you? Yeah. So it's not like you've only got the Championship. You've got the whole spectrum of every rider basically racing in the UK to build teams. So that's why there's some great teams out there. I mean, Glasgow, I've got to say, they look good. People are going to look at us, like I said earlier, and say, "Oh, a bit top heavy." But those top three can be an absolute game changer. But the other four boys, the lower order, I always say reserves can win your meetings.
Yeah,
and that's the key. That if Zach or Drew or Nathan or whoever's down at reserve at the time, they can score 4 or 5 each. That's 10 points. That's a big lump out of a visiting team or when you're away from home. So that's going to be the key. It's everybody's got to play their part. I mean, it's maybe we look a little bit short, but I don't think we will be towards the end. I think the name of Paul will hopefully bring those boys through.
Fantastic. You mentioned BH Coffee, of course, and time to chime in from Pink Tuck. Can we have a lucky season ticket holder draw every week for a bit of cake and BH Coffee, please?
Yeah, I don't know about every week, but it's great. It's great actually because I get loads of Pool fans come over in the winter. So it's great to see people. I got Pete Grove, who works on the pit gate, who most people know. His wife makes some cakes for us, so we got a real Pool connection. In fact, the coffee shop, as most people know, is my old workshop. My workshop, Ricardson's workshop, Holder's workshop, Scott Autry's workshop. It's now a coffee shop.
A lot of history.
You sat out. We've got a concrete patch out the front of the coffee shop. That's where we all used to wash our bikes.
Fantastic, amazing. Go check it out. Can't be bad. Here we go, another change, wait for it. I'm
not sure about the flat peaks. I'm a bit too old for a flat peak.
Yeah, I know what you mean on those, Middlo. I'm not keen on a flat peak.
I can do what it Oh, it's a bit tight now. Hang on.
A couple more comments. There we go. Tony Brett, keep doing what you do, Neil. You're the best. This one might take a bit of thought. Martin chimes in saying, Middlo, if you could pick your own 1 to 7 riders, past and present, who would you choose? Now, I know we did the Magnificent Seven thing not too long ago for Paul, and some, the fans got to chime in with their vote, and what a team that was put together there. But Neil, obviously,
what a team that was left out as well.
Well, exactly.
It's crazy.
That is. I mean, we are spoiled at Paul. I've got to be honest. I mean, I've been a supporter since I was a babe in arms, and I've gone through the whole spectrum. And you look back at some of the teams. I'm sat here in my office now, and it's full of pictures of teams that I've raced for, managed, and I mean, there's some tremendous rides. I mean, I'm looking at when we've got Hans, Lars, Sigalski, Tony Rickardson, Javi. It's crazy some of the teams we've had over the years, and to 1 to 7. It's a tough one. It really is. I mean, obviously you'd have to say Tony, Chris, Darcy, Javi, Loramsky, Lee Adams. I mean, that's a 6 it wouldn't get beaten, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. Whack Lee Adams in reserve. It's like it's 1988 again. Crikey.
That's right, yeah.
Great. No, let's try stirring up a little bit of controversy as you move on to your next hat. I really want to see down by the side of your desk there, see how many hats you've got. There we go. Harry's International, nice.
Rory's. That's Rory's.
Good stuff. Okay, you've worked very, very closely, obviously, since late 90s with Matt Ford, obviously, and had some great success. Helm has moved now over to Danny, dealing with a lot of the day-to-day stuff. Matt is still obviously in the picture and providing some valuable assistance behind the scenes. But let's get controversial. What are the key differences? Oh, here we go. Yeah, you're going to need this for this question. Just a single. You can always have 2 singles instead of a double, Yeah,
I didn't even know they came in singles.
Single bottles.
Yeah. So anytime somebody comes to say, they always bring me a bottle of JD.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Don't charge them anything. Just bring alcohol. That's
right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So key differences: working with Matt and working with Danny.
I mean, obviously, generation is a big difference. I mean, Danny's he's got his enthusiasm from his dad. I think Matt has always been ultra Paul. I mean, he's the same as me. I mean, Matt's actually has my autograph from when I rode, and he's always been so in love with the club. And I think that was one of the reasons when I actually started managing, the fact that I thought, well, yeah, this guy loves the club as much as I do. And that's why I'm quite happy to work with him. And I've always said that I will never work anywhere else. And I said when Matt Ford left Paul, I would leave Paul. But obviously Matt's still in the background. He's helping out Danny. I mean, Danny is still a learning curve for Dan. I mean, it's a tough job. I mean, I think the last year, I think Dan probably aged about 20 years with the criticism he was getting from the track. And you have to learn, take it on the back. I mean, take it on the. It's one of those things, isn't it? I get criticised as a manager, but you have to sort of, people are entitled to their opinions. They can say things, whether you agree with it or not. You've got to be diplomatic, and I think Dan's learned to be very diplomatic for a young man who's taken on the club with such a huge history behind it. And that again, he's a youngster. The riders are his age, aren't they? And they can relate to him. Dare I say it, not possibly more than me, but they can certainly relate to him.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think Ben and I have discussed this. We just discussed this last time. The fact that I think Danny is really started to bring
That is
Paul,
lovely, by the way. That is a lovely thing. That is a tasty beverage.
Danny bringing Paul Speedway into the 21st century. We're starting to see a lot more presence on social media. Obviously we're looking at streaming now. We're going to be talking a little bit about the British Speedway Network, and Paul are obviously going to be doing their own things there. We've seen the innovations of the press conferences after the match. A lot of the Paul Speedway website much more regularly updated, and it really has been pulled into the future. We're going to talk about the British Speedway Network in a little bit, but have you had a chance to have a look and see what they've got on offer, Neil? And what are your thoughts on that?
I think what Dan's doing, I mean, it is the way forward, isn't it? I know just in my business, with Facebook, just Facebook, for as far as advertising goes, things like that, it's fantastic. And I think everybody, when I'm sort of sharing this, this thing tonight, there's people in Australia liking it, blah, blah, blah. So it's a really, it is the way forward. I mean, I'm possibly a bit of a dinosaur as far as the modern technology. I'm trying to embrace it, but I think Danny certainly has his finger on the pulse. And I think that, with Paul, with the music, with the DJ, he great. He keeps things going. And that's the thing, is it's entertainment, isn't it? I mean, you want to be entertained. We're a niche sport, and all the people watching tonight and Paul Speedway fans, we love our Speedway. That's the bottom line. We love our Speedway, but anything that can be done to enhance it for the youngsters, to bring more youngsters in, social networking, that sort of thing is, and you guys doing this stuff, it's brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, thank you very much. We're trying to sort of keep ahead of the curve as well as we can.
I'm running out of hats. I've got loads of hats.
It's when you take that team shirt behind you and put that on.
Yeah.
Smash the frame. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought the helmet was going on.
Yeah, I thought it was a helmet.
Nice.
I love their biscuits.
Yeah. Funnily enough, you speak about the DJ, Carl. I know he can't, or he struggles to watch live when we're live, because obviously, he needs to go to gigs to earn his living. But he did post a question earlier on, and he did tag you in it. When's the last time you got on a bike and spun some laps?
Oh, no! Do you know what? I've never ridden a bike in Angus since the day I stopped. I was lucky enough. I rode the track at Javi's Farewell with my dad, which was obviously looking back now is very emotional. So that was probably the last time. And I mean, I got to admit, I can still remember it. I got on the bike and I sort of went down the straight and give it a bit of a square. I thought, oh yeah, this is quite nice. But then I thought, nah, particularly not now. But you never forget that feeling. You get on there. But my mind thinks I'm 18, but my body's unfortunately 65.
So
I wouldn't squeeze into my leathers anyway. It doesn't stretch like Kevlar.
Obviously, we'd be remiss of us to talk about it anyway. So, no plans to get on a bike for your much awaited testimonial meeting?
No. I might do a lap.
Okay.
But as I say, hopefully we'll get that going. Matt's going to give me some dates. Hopefully it's going to be later in the year. And it'll be great. I mean, it's the people. There's a lot of people here maybe watching who didn't know what the story was, but I had the testimonial. I lost all my money, and Matt, as I said, he always said that he would give me a testimonial before he left Paul, and he's as good as his word. So hopefully this year we're going to get that done, and it'll be nice. It's my love of the club is everybody knows is there's nothing else. I've always been Poole Speedway, and it's just a nice thank you because I gave 10 years of my racing career to the club, and then I've given over 20 years as management. My family has been involved. Obviously, Dad since 49.
Wow.
And so yeah, we've got a big history of the club, and it means a huge amount to me, and it will just be a lovely. I said thank you from the fans, but just it'll be a good night, and it's just a appreciation of hopefully what our family's done for the Poole Club.
Yeah, absolutely. And David James, well-deserved testimonial. Matt Hector chiming in, fully deserved. Let's get a big crowd for whenever it takes place here. Watch this space for a date, I think, and we'll make it happen. Chat room, get your last minute questions in for Middlo. What we are going to finish up with from our perspective, I think, Bjarne Pedersen, obviously he's got his big meeting coming up on Wednesday the 30th of March. It's the first meeting back at Poole. Can you talk to us about Bjarne and what he's kind of meant to the club? He's been part of the rafters for so long, really, when it comes to Poole. What are your experiences of Bjarne as a rider and as a person?
I think Bjarne is, as you say, he's been an absolute machine. I often use Bjarne. I touched on it briefly earlier, that he's a machine as far as he didn't have the natural talent of Darcy Ward or Chris Hodder. He won't mind me saying that, and I've said this in the press before, but he worked so hard. I mean, he trained, he ran, he ate right. I mean, the most I ever saw Bjarne drink was like a WKD after we won the league, but what he did, and I remember standing once with Billy Gennaro, the American rider, and I said, if you want to model yourself on a rider, look at Bjarne, because his equipment, his mechanics, everything about him was 100% professional. You only have to look at the way he's going about this farewell meeting. It's fully regimented. I mean, he's done the best. He's made the best out of his. I mean, he's been a Grand Prix winner, so don't get me wrong, he's no slouch at all. But he's worked really hard to be to get where he did in his career, and he's been a huge ambassador for Poole, and I know he loved his time here at Poole. He loved the fans and the sponsors, and it'll be a nice way to say goodbye to him.
Absolutely. Wednesday, 30th of March, just a week after Press and Practice Day. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. Come and check it out. Give Bjarne his send-off Wednesday, 30th of March, 7:30. Head on over to the official Poole Speedway website to find out more information and information about tickets. David James, he is desperate to mention that where the restaurant is now, does Neil remember the concrete stand as part of the old track, the one with the old zigzag roof?
Yeah,
I remember that fondly.
100%. I used to be up there as a kid, running up and down. I used to when I was a little kid, I used to gabble when you get money back on the bottles, the Coke bottles. I always used to be nicking people's bottles when it was between their legs and go and get the money back. I remember that was a tote up there that used to be, you could put your bets up there, and it was great for. I remember the bar at the end, and then it was all sort of open. You could run up and down as a kid as I was.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we always Ben and I still call it the new stand. I mean, it's 20 years old, for Christ's sake. We still call it the new stand.
I know, and it's funny because when you look at some of the old pictures of the crowds there, and you'd think that we had the main grandstand, which we have now, and then you had the other stand with not quite as many people, but certainly a close comparison. The first and second corners were full, and I didn't appreciate at the time how many people we used to get there. But then when you look back and you see the pictures, and everybody says, "Oh, look at the crowds." And will we ever get back to that? Who knows? Be nice, but it's a tough one, isn't it?
Again, it circles back around to that accessibility. I think British Speedway Network, the more you get these matches and everything out to people, and the more it's shared, I'm sure the British Speedway Network, once matches start happening, they'll be posting clips and individual races on social media to get people bitten by the bug. And I'm sure
I think you're right, but I think like the whole social media, the YouTube, the thing, and you look at some of the races, and there's so many people hopping through the socials, and all of a sudden they click on this race, whether it's a Darcy Ward or a Chris Holder or whatever race, and they think, "Oh, that looks exciting," and have a look at it, and then potentially businessmen, and it's. Will we get back to glory years? I doubt it. I mean, we all look at Poland and go, how fantastic it is out there. But, it only costs a couple, don't quote me on this, not very much to get in.
Yeah.
So they can command the big crowds there. Whereas over here, it's just tough, isn't it? All the stadiums, obviously the trouble with Swindon, and, even with Matt this year with the problems trying to get the rent sorted out. I mean, that, we can say it now, but that was kind of touch and go for a long while. But it's just a case of we need the promoters the promoters in the sport who love the sport, because if you don't, as a businessman, sometimes you're going to look at the books and you're going to go, you know what, this isn't a really great paying business. But you have to have people like Matt and quite a few other promoters who love the sport and will take it on the chin when things aren't going great. And they're the people, they're the lifeblood of Speedway. And when we lose those people, we lose Speedway.
Yeah. Ben, any last questions from your side of things?
No, Middlo's covered all of mine. Obviously, the testimonial date's still to be confirmed, but will be a fitting end of the season. Have you got any idea on the format? Because I know there was one planned previously, which obviously
I think I'll probably do an individual. Gordon Day, bless him. He was very instrumental in trying to get the original one, obviously before COVID. Then COVID hit, so I've got some prizes which Gordon got for us. Got some medals already been done. I have to change the date, but I think probably an individual meeting. So it'll be a good night. Hopefully, I can get some good boys down there, and some names to come over and meet the fans and everything. But yeah, it'll be hopefully weather be kind to me, and we'll have a good night.
Absolutely. Last few questions coming in. Yeah, absolutely. Everything crossed. We know what those the weather down pool can be like when it's not on our side. Couple of last ones from the chat room. Ashley Wood, will the riders in your testimonial meeting receive the same glass memento as the original?
How do you know that? Probably not. And it's probably not. If there's children watching, I better not say what it was. Let's say I had to give them their mementos in the pits, not in front of the crowd.
Okay, there we go.
If anybody wants to know what they are, ask me when you see me next season. But I couldn't say it on the air.
Just don't ask to see it. Just ask him.
No. There's a few about it. Yeah.
Martin, last season, Pool were unbeatable at home. Do you think we can do the same again this season?
Yeah, why not? I think. I mean, if the track's good, I think there's no reason why not. I mean, I think the boys, as I say, we had that little blip with the track, but even then the boys powered through that. And I think that it's a good. It's funny, isn't it? Because I always remember Darcy said that when he rode for Pool, then he came down for Swindon. And he didn't even win a race that night. And when did you never see Darcy win? He said it's a completely different thing riding for Pool and then coming to ride at Pool. So I think it's just something that, whether it's the crowd, the atmosphere, the stadium, because I mean, it's such a great little stadium, isn't it? I mean, it's small, and people say, how many are you getting for the crowd? And you tell them, they go, that, but that's good because it's a nice little atmosphere in the stadium, isn't it? It's not like, people who've been to, like, say, White City when there was league racing going on there, and you've got, people here, people there, but at Pool, you get a couple of thousand people and it looks a good crowd. It's a good atmosphere. And even the boys say, they can, the Pool fans are so vocal, they go into the start line, they can hear the fans cheering. And that's such a great thing. I always said it that, the Pool fans are the number 8s in the team and play a huge part in the success of the Pool club.
It's something that we've mentioned many a time, Lee and I, throughout the time we've been doing this as fans. The riders say, I don't think that a lot of the fans genuinely believe it.
You're drinking? Is that tea?
It is Rooibos tea. It's all, yeah.
Somebody's doing all right.
Yeah.
I'll go with Danish.
Well, I can't afford the Jack Daniels, so
I'm just on neat gin.
Yeah, good man. That's it.
Someone's got to keep this ship afloat.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Be first.
Where were we? We're in the middle of a question now.
Sorry, mate.
That's right. All good. Pink Tuck has said, who do you think will be at number 1 the longest? That's an interesting question.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one, isn't it? I mean, Stevie came on brilliant last year. Danny, Richie. I mean, there's 3 good guys there. They're all going to be fighting for it. I think it's going to be. I wouldn't like to put money on that one. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a difficult one, isn't it? I think it's one of 3, which is the top 3. But I think they'll all be fighting for the number 1 spot, which is good. It's refreshing to see, wanting to be number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Clive Tyres chimes in with, have you decided on the riding order yet? You don't have to make it public, but have you decided?
No, not yet. No, I've got to talk about this. Is how cookie? That's good. That's better. No, not yet, Clive. No, I think we got to sit down and talk about it yet. But I think we've got to try and get that right blend of, youth and experience. Really got to. But I think. It'll be good. We'll sort it out. I'm sure Matt and Danny will have it sorted out, and we'll sit and chat about it and see where we think it'll work best. And if it doesn't work, we'll change it.
Yeah, absolutely. And David James, why aren't air horns allowed anymore? Now that does really hark back to when Ben and I first started watching Speedway, and the noise that would come from those air horns was
I can hear more
phenomenal.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. That's not really my department, but I kind of see it. I mean, if people are sensible with it, and they hold them in the air, and you're not sort of like right here by the guy in front here, then you're going to want to turn around. You're going to get a slap, aren't you? So I think if you're sensible, you hold them up here. But then it's a tough one, isn't it? I think it's you got to be sensible because they are so.
To be fair, could the grandstand roof take all of that?
Yeah, I know.
The termites holding hands.
Yeah. The air horn thing, I always remember both Mark and Tony coming back with that, and Chris with that World Championship, and that was incredible.
Yeah, oh yeah. I know.
The wall of sound from that.
It's a great effect. It really is. I mean, we all remember the Cardiff days when the first ones came in. I mean, it was mental.
Yeah,
you have to put your ear defenders on just for the crowd. But yeah, you've got to be a bit sensible with it, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we're winding up the sort of time we've got with you. We've got a few other bits to touch on the show, but Neil, just thank you so much giving up your Thursday evening for us and taking some of the questions from the PirateCast faithful. Just some final words from you. Looking forward to the season. What are your sort of thoughts as we head into this year?
Always look forward to the season. I mean, it's always. People always say to me, "Oh, are you still hungry to win?" Yeah, of course I am. I wouldn't be doing it if I wasn't. I mean, the fact that we've won so many titles, it doesn't make it any less appealing to win a title. I mean, I always want to win. And I always have my speech before. When we meet the boys for the first time, I say, "Oh, welcome to the most hated club in the country," which we are, which is fine. I can live with that, because it's great. And you can always tell it if that puts bums on the seats. Hey, happy days. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? It's like people want to see, your Man Cities get beaten or whatever, and they want to see Paul get beaten. And when they beat us, they're over the moon about it. And that's fine. It's if it's good for the sport, I'm happy with it. Obviously, I don't want to lose ever, but we can't win every meeting. I mean, we can at home, but hopefully. No, it's got to be good for the sport, and we're lucky to be in a great club that wants success, and we've had success, and we want more success. So that's basically what we want to do. We just want to keep winning.
I think that the old sort of adage of if they're talking positively about you or negatively about you, as long as they're talking about you, that's the main thing. And that is
one thing worse than not being talked about, and that's not being talked about.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And that's Paul in a nutshell, I think.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is. And if you say it to people about Speedway, you mentioned Poole Pirates. More people will know about Poole Pirates than most other clubs. Okay, Bellevue Aces, but I think Poole is one of the clubs that over the last 20 odd years has been. We're lucky. We get great coverage from the Echo, from the BBC, from Solent, obviously, and we're out there all the time. As soon as we're on television, if I'm on TV or whatever, people next day or the weekend, they go, "Oh, Middlo saw you on telly," and that's good for the sport, isn't it? We're getting out there, and I mean they're good to us, and long may it continue.
Absolutely. Neil, thank you so much for taking the time out.
Thanks, Neil.
Appreciate you joining us. We'll have to do it again sort of throughout the season on and off. And
I'll get the rest of my hats out. I've got hundreds of things up there.
I have one of the crash helmets on next time.
Yeah, I've got them up behind me. Darcy's and Lars's ones there. Yeah. I've got loads. This one's getting a bit tight, actually. Let's make it should have adjusted them all. Should have rehearsed.
Thank you so much, Neil.
Thank you.
Neil, check him out down at Wimborne Road. Season starts soon. Head down there. Watch the Pirates. Thanks so much, Neil. Take care.
And visit the coffee shop, BH.
Yes.
Visit BH Coffee. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I bake the cakes. Not.
Oh, wow.
Jack Daniels cake.
Jack Daniels cake, yeah. Take care, Middlo.
Cheers, Middlo. Thank you.
Take care, mate.
Cheers.
Good to talk to you. Take care.
There we go. Oh, you're super big there.
Whoa! That's
there
not
we
what
go.
people want to see. There we go.
And
I know the lighting's better tonight, but
get rid of that. Change that back. There we are. We're back looking normal again. Once again, thank you so much to Neil there for joining us. And yeah, always great to hear from Neil. And that might not be the last of our guests as we move on through the season. A lot of people have shown some interesting coming on, not necessarily just riders, other people from the world of Pool Speedway. So we can expect to see some more interesting faces as the season goes on. Morris has said, awesome show tonight. # Pirate Pride. Good stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mandy says, thank you, Neil. Pink Tuck, thank
man.
you,
You're
Neil.
welcome. Jesus
so
Christ.
lots of appreciation for Neil Middleditch there. So thank you once again.
And rightly so. What a legend.
Absolutely good fun. He's
I'll
off
be
to
honest
finish
as
off
well,
the rest of his bowl.
Had no idea there was going to be a hat gimmick. We had no idea about that. We hadn't planned it. That was brilliant. Love it.
There we go. So we've got a message in the chat room asking for where you can get merch. If it's PirateCast merch you want, shop.piratecast.live. You can check that out for all the PirateCast stuff. Couple of designs in there that you can check out. But don't buy it now. Wait till they've got a sale on. Keep checking.
Lee, breaking news.
Go on.
I have a message from the clerk of Pool Speedway course.
Okay.
Saying that he doesn't believe that air horns are banned. They're just not sold at the retail establishment in Pool Speedway anymore.
Let's find an Amazon link and share it.
No. We could do vuvuzelas.
No, absolutely not. Let's not do vuvuzelas. I remember that from before.
Yeah.
Hey, are we on different sides now than we were before?
Yeah. It's a bit like the Ant and Deck thing.
There we go.
We're
That's better. That works this time. That threw me. Okay, David James. Yes, you could pin it to the comments. Massively recommend the PirateCast shirts. Great quality, says Craigie Hell.
Yeah, Craig went and ordered one straight off. You're a legend. Thanks, mate.
Top man. Right, let's move it on to some of our other topics. We're almost close on an hour. We've got a few other bits to touch on. We talked about it with Middlo briefly. The British Speedway Network has had their big launch earlier on this week, wasn't it?
Yes.
First of March.
I want to say Tuesday or Wednesday.
I think it was Tuesday, wasn't it? First, because we're the
Tuesday.
third today. If you want to check it out, it's watch.britishspeedway.co.uk. You can sign up for it. There is a free option where they'll have certain free on-demand stuff. I don't think there's anything quite on there at the moment yet, but they have only just launched. Or there is a paid option, which is £17.99 per month. You can't actually choose that option yet. It's only the annual option, which is £109 for the year, which gives you access to all of their streamed events.
Yeah, and that actually works out. It's an early bird offer. I don't know what the pricing is normally, but that works out that 109 if you're going to go all in. Is really good value. I think it's something like 35, 36 meetings you get.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. And if they also do the option for if you want to tune into a live match, not actually pay a monthly subscription or an annual subscription, just pay for one individual match. For example, if the Pirates get through to the playoff final and you want to just watch that will be priced at £11.99. If you want to watch it after the fact and not live, so if you want to watch it on demand, as it were, kind of like Netflix works, £6.99 for an on-demand match. So lots of different options there, and it is in its infancy. I suspect at some point we'll see an app. That was one of my things that I was surprised not to see initially. But I suspect at some point we will see it evolving into an app and more accessibility.
But the beauty of having it streamed via a website is that a lot of TVs will be able to, you can stream a browser window via AirPlay or Chromecast or Fire Stick. So potentially it will work that way. But I believe it is restricted to just one account viewing at a time. So the multiple devices thing won't work.
So again, it's not like a Netflix where you can have sort of multiple different profiles on it and different people can be watching different things at once. It is one login. If someone is downstairs watching it, no one else can be upstairs watching the same thing on the same account. You'd have to pay for a separate login as far as we understand it. Clive Ty is saying he's got his BSN season pass. Awesome. Followed up nicely by Mandy saying, we will come to you then, CF. There we go.
Good plan.
Saving money.
Still waiting on what the Pool Speedway streaming is. I believe the plan is to stream home meetings, and there will be packages available. That's definitely underway. I believe the equipment and the sort of wiring and stuff is already being sorted out. So, and I believe there will be some format of streaming on Press and Practice if all goes well. I believe.
Yeah, and also we've got some some facility to be able to live stream as well. Obviously, we've got a YouTube channel. You're watching it right now, with the facility to go live. I don't know, and I haven't even made any investigations. It's something I made to talk to Danny about. I'm going to be down there, whether or not I don't want to step on any toes. Last thing we want to do is piss off Poole Speedway because we are on their side. But if there is an option to do any kind of individual interviews or streaming or anything like that, we will certainly try and bring that to you. So
it's been a while since we've been able to do it, but always used to do like a video highlight package for the last 3, 4, 5 seasons or so, when I could. Unfortunately, I can't attend, so it's all on Lee this time. Yeah,
no pressure.
I've got to work a 12-hour shift, which sucks, but that. It is what it is.
Which also means we're not going to be down at the quiz. Which
you
is well, I'm going to be down there. You're not going to be down there, and you're normally
stream me in. I might be quiet at work. Just put me on as a virtual person.
Stream you in. So that's on the 23rd, isn't it? It's 23rd is 25th, is it?
Is it 25th?
I thought it was the 23rd. It's on a Wednesday, right. Isn't it? Yeah, 23rd.
No, it's a Friday.
Is it Friday? All right, 25th then. Sorry, my bad.
It's on the 25th. You definitely got that off then.
Yeah, I have. I remember looking at the site before I booked it off at work. So yeah, I've definitely got it.
Okay, it's Friday the 25th, mate. Yeah, 100%.
Friday the 25th. 100%.
Because there's now a ref quiz afterwards.
There is. So Riders Equipment Fund, obviously great. This is a nice segue for you, Ben, to pick up in a minute.
Do you see what I did there? Do you see what I did? I do know what I'm doing sometimes.
So the ref are doing the quiz night. Great way to, number one, have a bit of a warm up for the season. Meet back up with people, ask them about their winter, ask how everything's been, and to get involved in a great quiz. It's a lot of fun. Always is down there having the quiz. And again, contributing towards the Riders Equipment Fund. Ben, tell us about the Riders Equipment Fund and what's happening this year.
Yeah, so those of you that were kind enough to tune into our debut episode, a plea was made by Stan and Val. They are stepping down after many, many years, and rightfully earned. They've done so much great work. We should have actually mentioned it to Neil as well about how much it does mean to the riders. It does make a huge difference. Any monies raised all get distributed throughout the team to the Pirates throughout the season, and also additional contributions are made if a rider writes off kit. If they have a particularly nasty crash, blow an engine, a donation will be made towards them. So it does help massively. So they were looking for people to help. And thank you so much to both Michelle Pink Tuck on the chat and Mandy Smith as well. They've stepped up. They've gone straight to Stan and they're on board. They'll be helping at the quiz night first of all, and building it from there. I know Michelle's looking at potentially helping on the social media side, but guys, they're still looking for a couple of extra volunteers for if people can spare their time. And obviously, the more people that are willing to help out, the easier it'll be on everybody. So if somebody can't make one meeting, it's okay because there's many others stepping up. So firstly, thank you to Michelle and Mandy. I think they'll be a brilliant team. I'm so pleased they wanted to do it. And I'm just massively pleased that we could help out.
Absolutely. And again, we will always try and spread the word of the ref because the ref has been really good to us. We've had many great times at ref funded events and things like that. And Nigel and his quizzes that he puts together are absolutely fantastic. And just meeting people, it encourages interaction between Poole fans. A great job that they do. And Stan and Val have been doing it for years. And it's great to see the ref continue under different people and different people helping out, but they always need extra help. So if you can help, get in touch with us. We'll put you in touch with the right people. That would be fantastic. Jack Harlow says up the Pirates. There you go. Can't go any.
I don't think we should do that, Jack. I think we should give them, at least half a season before we do that.
Don't go up the Pirates.
And just quickly, sorry, on the quiz, admission prices, it's £4 for ref members. £5 if you're a non-member, and all of that money does go into the ref and goes towards the club for the season. So there's nothing on admin or anything like that. It all gets put back into the club, and with ref members presenting checks as well on parade. So it's a great opportunity.
Really good, and again, such a great sort of community spirit with the ref fund. Elliot says super section with Neil, very interesting. So glad you enjoyed it. The other thing that we're going to touch on, I think, is the Bjarne Pedersen meeting happening. This is definitely happening on Wednesday, the 30th of March, the Wednesday after the Friday,
weather permitting. We should add that it is definitely happening pending the weather.
We'll see what's happening when it comes to that. So it's the Dad's Army monikered Peterborough Therma Home Panthers side, for whom Bjarne was an integral player in his final racing season, will field Scott Nichols, a Danish quartet of Hans Andersen, Ulrik Ostergaard, Michael Palm Toft, and Peter Kildemand, and will be completed by Jordan Palin and 2022 Pirate Nathan Ablett. Happy birthday, Nathan. He's 18
Happy
today.
birthday, Nathan.
And then they're going to be taking on the Pool Link Fabrication Pirate side, comprising the other sixth of the 2022 team. So Danny King, Steve Royal, Richard Lawson, Drew Kemp, and the Australian Cook brothers, Ben and Zach, with Adam Ellis as a special guest. Got pirate pride running through his veins. So
was meant to be a pirate on the season that was COVIDed off.
Exactly. COVID
did it off.
It is now. It is now.
There we go. I coined it.
So that is going to be a great meeting. And again, it's all for a good cause. It's to sort of pay tribute to one of the stalwarts of the last sort of 20 odd years of the Pirates, Bjarne Pedersen, and also great chance to check out the your 2022 Pirates. They're all going to be there. They're all going to be racing. It's not going to be, obviously there is going to be some hard racing going on, but it's all for a bit of fun. It's all, for Bjarne. So it should be a great meeting. Head on down Wednesday 30th of March at 7:30.
And we are thankful to our show sponsor, Mr. Clive Tyres. We are sponsoring Steve Worrell.
So we're sponsoring Heat 6.
No, we're also sponsoring Steve Worrell's.
Oh, are we?
Jacket. Yeah.
Oh, I know. I think we get Steve Worrell's race jacket as a.
Do we? I thought we were
as a result of
Steve Worrell.
Okay. Well, I was told we're sponsoring Heat 6. Okay. Maybe Clive Tyres in the chat room can clarify on that
one.
We're
sponsoring Steve Worrell as well, but.
Okay, there we go. Well, yeah, we'll need to check that out. He'll clarify in the chat room.
If not, we'll be cheering him on.
Yeah. Fantastic. So we're pretty much out of time. It's 1 minute past 9. Where the hell did that hour go?
1 hour 3 minutes.
1 hour 3 minutes. Yeah, pretty happy with that. Thank you everyone for tuning in live this evening on a Thursday evening.
Means a lot. Really great. Does. Thank you.
Yeah, huge. Oh, Heat 6 and Steve's race jacket. Clive Tyres. And Rob Dyer says, hoping to have riders at the quiz and a memorabilia auction. Another great reason to get down there.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
I'll buy you something, man. Don't worry.
Oh, thanks,
if you want one of
buy me something pretty.
Tony Ricardson's pants from 2004, I'll buy you some. Don't worry.
I already have them.
Oh, okay, good. Fantastic. Okay, yeah, thank you very much. Honestly, all the support, everyone who's tuned in, thank you so much for supporting us. If you're watching on demand, thank you again for watching us. Check us out live next time. Again, we haven't set in stone when we're doing the shows. We're just going to chime in with shows when we know there's something good to talk about. We wanted to get Neil on pre-season. Now seems to be the good time to do it, especially with the launch of the British Speedway Network and, Bjarne's meetings being announced and, lots of stuff. The anticipation is building for the 2022 season. But I'd imagine sort of there or thereabouts, probably shortly after press and practice day, I'd imagine we'll do something because we may have some footage to bring you. We may stick it on the YouTube channel. We may even show it live on PirateCast. So we may do a show and then just cut to some video and show you some of that. That'll be pretty cool because if we can't stream it, we'll certainly be recording.
I do apologise. Tony Brett, all the way from Canada. Thank you.
There we go.
Thank you for your ongoing support as well. Awesome.
Yep, all the best, guys. Great show from cold -20 degrees Canada. Unbelievable. That's
don't leave yet because as much as I think the show should be over, I think there's still something left to do.
Is there? What's that? Oh, yes, there is.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes, there is. Sorry.
Well, no, it's okay if we don't have to do it. It's okay.
Morris says, well done, Lee and Dudders. Great show tonight.
Thanks,
Thank
Morris.
you very, very much. Mandy, great show, chaps. Love you guys. Clive Tyres. He's been on the Jack Daniels by the looks of it.
BSM beanies. I think he's been looking at Kelly.
He's changed it to Bambinos. There we go.
Bambinos. What's Bambinos?
Midlow's
same temp as my JD. Lovely.
Fantastic. And Pink Tuck has reminded us.
No, Michelle, don't encourage it. It doesn't need
joke.
it.
Yes, it does. It does. Okay, are you ready? You ready?
Never.
I've got one ready. It's all prepared.
It really wasn't, was it?
Right. This is one for you Speedway fans and you Disney fans out there.
Oh, God, here we go.
There's a few of us around. Who is Aladdin's least favorite pirate? Jafar. So you've busted that out.
Oh yeah, bloody right. I think we should end the show on something more positive.
I thought that was pretty positive.
Yeah, okay.
All right,
yeah,
okay.
I knew Mandy would like it. Jeez.
We'll be back. We will most certainly be back. I don't know whether or not it'll be before or after press day, as we said. But
well, there is somebody who did say they'd be happy to come on closer to the start of the season. So I just need to ping a message. But obviously, not too much to talk about. But happy to do Q&A and spread the word about how easy it was asking the questions as well, guys.
Absolutely. So yeah, keep checking us out. Follow us on all the social medias. I'll run them through just one more time. youtube.com/PirateCast Live, which you're watching now if you're watching us. So make sure you just click that subscribe button, click the notification bell to get alerted every time we go live. Facebook.com/ThePirateCast. We're on Twitter @PirateCast. And make sure you check out the merchandise shop.piratecast.live. Don't buy any merch just yet. Wait till they've got a sale on and buy something then. There you go.
Go old school. There you go. Take a screenshot. There you go. Take
that. Do you know what? Maybe I should get that design, whack that up there as well, and just have it as a special old
throwback.
Do it in black and white or something.
Like the Bucks bringing the creamsicle jerseys back.
Yes, we could do it. Okay.
Throwback kit.
I'll see if I can make that happen.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'll be back soon. Stay tuned to all the socials to find out when. And Ben, thank you very much. It's been a great one.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
All right. And I'm not on the right screen at all to do the outro. Here we go. I'm going to do it now. Bye, everyone.
Stay classy.
Bye.